Hello, welcome back. I'm going to continue the series about book Paimon, the King of the Abyss, the Lord of Silence, the Void and the Silence, our thematic. And this is an absolutely beautiful book that I can recommend anyone. And it has many elements together of mastery or art or secret knowledge or historical knowledge or even a modern love story or there are many ways that the book can be enjoyed. As I've said, Paimon does work with the mirror, so a book having different aspects to it, it just speaks about the way it is made, no? We have seen through our discussions many correlations, how one can find answers through correlating different ideas, or how one can seek. This always thrive in acknowledging a subject, or acknowledging a book, or acknowledging a person or a situation, and that we come from a place of interest and a place of goodwill. So Paimon does speak about goodwill, to do goodwill, to have goodwill, to work hard, he is like a master teacher, and he does this in a very beautiful, magnificent way. The way he did it with me, through me, for this book, my visions that I had with him, the connection I felt with him, as the author, with my subject, with my character, and the help that I feel that I have received from him, by being able to write and complete this book in 1 week. The body of the text when I started, or when I had it ready, was around 500 pages, a little bit more, and I never know, as I've said, until the end, when the book is really ready, how many pages I'm going to have, because of formatting and changes that go through the text. There is the main work is the editing part, which I feel that Paimon has helped me a lot through. It's like I've learned through writing this book of Paimon, which I've tried to make it as perfect as possible, as perfect as I could, has almost like elevated the way I work, or I would work on books from now on. I've always, even on my past books, of course, had the same inkling. I was on the same page, I was on the same type, but now it's almost like I do it in a very determined way, and I know I'm even more convinced that it's right now. Always to say how hard work does pay off, of course, and it's the quality of the end object, shows the little extra hours that one puts in to polish it and make it as good as one can. So those last final touches are always very important. That's what I was trying to say. There's always like the attention to the detail makes the master be the master. At the same time, I feel like Paimon does represent time, as of course being an eternal being. So it's almost like he represents time. He's the one who gives time. Is the Lord. It's almost like if we think everything comes from the abyss, in the meaning of from the cosmos of blackness, of nothing, to the infinite cosmos. There is a certain like a beginning of time. We have Chronos in the Greek culture, god Chronos, which is the god of time, represents time, and it could be even the Paimon on the camel could be a representation of a man riding through the desert on a camel, which represents longevity, long journey, sense, time. We have spoken about this. The desert represents time, actually, as the same way where sand is, Getting a little bit more personal, it's almost like I have shared a few personal things, which it's almost like the the Paimon element of the book now has brought me some beautiful visions, which of course we all get. I like even to go back to some of my beautiful visions that I've experienced, and I have one which is very beautiful. I have two actually. These were actually a dream. Yeah. So the first vision was like me walking on a sand, like a beach, like perfect sand beach with the perfect sunset, like the perfect ideal environment. And it almost felt like no one is there. It's like the perfect planet, that everything is the same breeze, the same air. No, there's a feeling of eternity. It's a feeling of I will be the same. I can walk through that beach and be me, and have this perfect sunset, and this environment is so perfect. It's so harmonious. It will not change, it's the wind. It's almost like a perfect place, no? And that was like a dream combined a little bit almost like with a vision. Like if I thought of myself, if I was to imagine myself in a place, what type of place I would choose, no? And the second was the vision, which was very beautiful, and this was a dream. And this type of dreams, you don't want to wake up. This was definitely like that. And I was by myself. It was like a sunny day, very beautiful day. Everything was perfect harmony, and I was wearing a white dress. And I just found it was like a little, almost looked like a garden, like tiny, but inside there was like a water flowing, but it was like a river, ranged, like it was not just straight, it was like going down, from up, and then all around, so it was like sand, and I had these beautiful white crystals, amazing different type of crystals, many, and the water was, rushing down on them. And of course, when I saw them, I was like, I could not believe my eyes, because I was like in my dream world now. I was immediately, as a child, searching and looking for the most beautiful stones. And I was really enjoying, I was really happy no one was there. And then I was like, and then very soon after, I was a little sorry, because I really wanted to spend time there. Sometimes I try to recreate that and go back. I wish I had another dream to be there undisturbed. It was like a big pleasure for me to look into the water and find these beautiful different crystals. I was like using my dress to gather them, I was like, finding them, and they all look so beautiful. And I remember taking them in my hands, and I was amazed how they were almost like translucent. They were like light blue, like so beautiful. Different colors, different sizes, It's almost like you were digging them from the sand, from the river, You were like, so it was, I have a very archaeological type of spirit. I love to find stuff. I love to dig. For me, it's like dig and find something, like, I don't know, object or a crystal or anything. And it did seem very ethereal, almost like I was knowing that I was dreaming, And then at one point, a man, which actually I don't know why I reacted so fast, because he was there up, and I think he didn't mean nothing to scare me, but I just I could not continue him being there, and I had a little discussion with him, and then I went, almost like the dream ended. That's like one of my favorite dreams. The feeling was really great to be there, and I'm sure that dreams or dreamings have some type of meaning. In general, if somebody has a nightmare or a bad dream, the best way to deal with that is just to treat it as a dream. A bad dream is just a bad dream. There's no need to take it too seriously. No need to. Of course, there is the feeling. It does feel real, or it does, affect. It's not pleasant. I've had nightmares too, or bad dreams, but I just try to brush it off. I understand it's just a bad dream. It's nothing to worry about. No, it's just to calm oneself, and you go on with your day like nothing happened. That's how I do it. But really beautiful dreams really remain very long with me, and I really cherish beautiful dreams. Another one I had was very nice. it was a time where I learned, like, when I go to sleep, I don't want to be disturbed. So I like to go to a place like no one can reach me, no one knows where I am, no? And I imagined almost like an Irish hill full of nature, amazing. And there was this tiny house, had everything inside that I needed, and it was almost made like in the earth, but the glass and that, it was outside, you could see the outside, no? And I really loved the feeling of safety that house gave me, and it was really in the middle of nowhere. That was the most beautiful thing I loved about it. And of course the size, I like, I don't necessarily, I like, you know, big houses or beautiful big things, but I know how to enjoy the coziness of a small house or small home. I really loved, and it was just me there, so it was just the little things I needed. And it was almost like I was living like a fae, you know, like it was me, but I was just drinking tea and reading and sleeping there. And I love to go on walks. And from the window you can see really outside. You know, it's a little windy there. There's like a hill, a lot of grass, a very good air. And I love when I sleep there, I love to hear the wind. You know, I have different sounds that I like when I sleep, and wind or rain is one of them. And yeah, I really love Ireland. I've never been there. It's one of my dreams to go to visit. I love wind, you know, but like I would love to see those cliffs, or I like nature a lot. Green and stuff like that. And of course I love Irish pubs. And yeah, I would love to see Dublin. I'm sure it's a very cool city. And yeah, that was a nice dream as well, with my house. And yeah, about playing music with Paimon as well, I've said, no, he has encouraged me to be more free, to play as I like, to do what I want, to not follow any rules, to sing with my heart, to sing from my soul, to understand the behind work of music before even touching an instrument. And I think, you know, when we think about great masters in piano, or, you know, I cannot ever reach that level of amazingness and talent and hard work. And I absolutely think those are the great masters of, you know, mastering and a challenging instrument. And I love piano, and to be honest, I love to play it. If I had home a piano, I would definitely play, I think, every day on it. Yeah, I think you know, the piano gives you a lot of range, and you have a lot of, you can really, there's space for the hands to move and the fingers, and you can go slow and fast, and you can combine. It's really a beautiful instrument, and one can experiment a lot with the piano. I just love the shape of the piano. I think every home should have a piano, actually. And yeah, so with the music, of course, it's not to say that before Paimon, or before, you know, the help that I have felt I received, or the confidence that I have received through working on this book, or the visions that I had, you know, somehow it's like helped me to play better, become a better writer, or you know, it's always in the end about improving oneself. And there's like different quests or different interests that one might have, which are all beautiful, and that one should of course follow and enjoy. You know, I love gardening as well, or I love being outside. So I love the quietness, I love silence, I love you know, that feeling of being undisturbed, no, like in my dream, being able to enjoy something by yourself for a longer time. That's like one of the main enjoyments and purpose of creating something, no? Then of course comes the material, the material itself, the manuscript of the book or the song, you know, whatever is created. and then it's almost like for the artist, in a way, let's go, because it's created for somebody, and it's almost like it's not my road to follow as much as I have to focus on improving myself and creating, of course, different content that one wants. So the freedom is essential to the artist, as well as the silence. No, one cannot create if will be noise around. Will be very, very difficult. So silence is part of creation, quite a big one. People think creation is doing. Sorry, it's wrong. The right way is always reflection. And I remember a video I have seen. I really love old video documentaries about artists, very famous ones, videos or photographed in their studio. No, it's quite an amazing view. And I've seen one with Miro, which is I'm not sure, maybe Portuguese or Spanish, maybe I'm wrong, but very famous painter, and he was very old in age, and he was, it was so sweet to see how he was painting, creating his shapes on paper. They were very simple, but very calligraphy, like the old Japanese, no, type of calligraphy, like with a brush or 2-3 movements you create like an important shape. And anyway, he was creating, no, maybe it's easier than that for him. And then I loved the way he seated on his chair and he was looking at his paintings. I loved the moment of reflection. You know, I think it's that silence, no, it's almost like there's always a question, is it good? Somebody is going to, but it's not even about that, you know. I think he was enjoying his work. He was enjoying the things he has created. And I have that too very much. When I paint or when I, you know, bring the painting at the end. In general, like when I paint, it's quite a, you know, dirty business because you get a lot of color, water, you know, it is a process from beginning to end, from washing my instruments, preparing the, you know, paper and making sure I have everything around me what I need, and then I start to paint, and then I like to paint like series. Now I make as many paintings as I can. Of course, I don't paint if I'm bored, so I have to enjoy it. But in general, I'm fast. I'm a fast painter. I can make a painting in 10-15 minutes. And then I let it dry, and then I go to the next, and then I put them on my floor, and then of course I check them out, and sometimes I go again and I work on them until I'm happy, or I put different materials, or I go many times over them until I really feel, okay, it's finished, and then I let them dry, you know, then I clean them out. If I put salt or something, it dries out, and I clean it, and it's almost like I put it on the until some type of weight that the paper remains straight. And of course the best is to put them in the frame, because that's the best way to preserve them, no? And so there is always a process, no? And before painting or starting to paint, there's a preparation process as well. To get into the mood, no? To get into that desire. But I'm very excited. I get excited when I know I love to paint. And I love to have the moment of reflection when I see my paintings on the floor and the end result. I feel very proud of myself, no? And I enjoy the act of painting itself. It gives me a really great joy and silence, no? Because we were speaking about the silence and a lot of peace. It enriches my life, my heart. And I love colors. I love to combine. I love to work specifically on watercolor, okay? For me, it is about painting, but it's very much about the watercolor. I'm not attracted to paint in other material than this. That's like my big enjoyment is to paint with watercolor. It's one of my most beautiful things I like to do. If I could, I would paint all day. So easy for me. With writing, of course, it's different. Writing requires a different type of energy from me. In painting, I like to go wild. I believe that crazy lines, or, you know, there's a type of expressionism with impressionism in my work. Of course, my painting is all about nature. I create woods, trees. Sometimes I create them more magical. With watercolor it's quite easy, and then I put salt, I create a different texture, and it's almost like in the end, it's like a miniature landscape, and quite detailed in some. Some is more abstract, some is not, it's less abstract, and I like to use hard strokes too as well, to create different shapes, or I move very fast in the end with a thin brush, and then I create lines. I like texture, I like richness in a picture. And I paint as well watercolor bouquets and flowers, and I have used some for my book covers which I made for my first books. And I have many paintings of in my home. I think they fit very nice nature landscapes, and flowers look very beautiful in any room. I can put them bathroom, kitchen. I have living room, most of them, bedroom. They are perfect even for children's room. They're very, very beautiful. So I'm not able to create this with different material than watercolor, and I like to use a specific brand. It's called Kuretake on Amazon. It's a Japanese watercolor box, and I like to buy the bigger one with 78 colors, and that's the only colors I can work. That's like I do combine other colors, but that's my main palette. I love those colors. I have tried many, but it's just not, I cannot work as fast and as good only with this. And of course I need watercolor paper, which is a little expensive because it's a thicker paper. It's in general 250 grams or 300 grams is the perfect one, and they have different texture, which is, every paper I swear is different. The paper makes the painting almost, no? The paper is important in watercolor. It has to be quality, thicker, good pressed paper. You can either choose matte or you can choose like more rigid one, which is like there are very rigid ones I don't like to use, because the watercolor, actually it's nice to have a fineness to it. A little raw is good, I like too, but it does give a different effect. It does change the way I paint. So it's a lot of experience. I started painting in 2019, so it's almost like 5-6 years, and I've enjoyed it, and I felt as a master from day on. I was good from day on. I even kept my exercise papers, which look very beautiful. I was learning plants and flowers, how to paint and draw them. Because I create a body with pencil and then I go with the color, and I found ways to create a diverse type of flowers in different ways. I love roses or eucalyptus, or I love green and tiny details, or different bouquet, or different colors, no? Of course, I work with color therapy as well. How to combine the colors. I go after this very much, and I work very instinctively the colors that I choose. But I always look that it is a really nice harmony. And I like to use sometimes harder colors like red and blue and silver and golden, and I like the richness of a painting. And in some of my paintings, because I create texture and I work with salt, you do have some of them become very magical, and you have different figures in the painting. Sometimes one sees certain things when the sky is wild. It's the same thing, when you look at the sky and you see a lot of clouds, almost like you see figures in the clouds, or in the trees. When I paint the wood, it's very mystical. It's really beautiful. If one looks closest, it's even more beautiful. So I do work very detailed, no? But I said, I work fast, instinctively. I choose the color. I'm not even thinking. I'm just taking the paper, taking my brush, watering. I put water first all over the paper. Then I start with the middle line. I always make, of course, the horizon, the earth, depending how I use the paper, up on the upper, the length up, or on the width, on the longer side. It's a different type of landscape, so it will create a different painting. So you have to take that in mind, and then you create the lines, and then I go on it. I just I have it inside me. I cannot, you just paint and paint, create texture, not being afraid, combining color, feeling the color. Sometimes I even combine the colors. They say that no color in nature is pure color, so it's always about combining. Sometimes you use pure color, just one, like silver or blue, just to, of course, give details. If I choose to give details, sometimes my paintings are put the color, then I put the salt and just let it happen, I let myself be surprised when I paint. It's a very beautiful process. I recommend anyone who has a will or a desire, to paint. It's really not difficult, and you can be an artist and can create your own art. But if you don't, no problem. You can buy from others, or you can, not everyone is into art, but I do love art, and I do know quite a lot of things about art as well, and it is a passion of mine since I was a young girl, to be honest. I was painting and drawing since I was very young, and I love my paintings, I must say. So they're good paintings. I really like the colors. I like the nature. It's always gives me joy. So music and painting fit very well together, as well as writing too, and they all have a thing for silence, or a richness that comes out of the silence. It's a very good example how from the abyss of nothingness, or from the creation occurs, or a painting, or anything, or a sound, and then if one is willing to flow with that wind, one is willing to let himself be carried, trusted, that my hand knows what it does, and my heart is able to create something unique. No matter what it is yours, and it's the experience of knowing yourself, or testing yourself, or testing your ability, which is always a beautiful thing, that one can follow, can desire, or will, or choose, have the will to follow. Of course, painting does require some discipline, okay? It's not like I'm taking the paper and I'm splashing myself all over it. It's actually very controlled type of activity, and it is extremely mental. Painting is a mental activity. That's why people, when they see a painting, they start to try to understand it how mentally, through the brain, it is a mental exercise. So painting is almost like a science, a mental, emotional, and mentally, like a conquest of an idea. So it's quite philosophical, and it is high logic, and I do admire painters. I have, of course, many favorite painters. My first love painter is, and always be, to be honest, Vincent van Gogh. I really, really love him and his paintings. And I love others too, but I don't know, I feel affection always with Vincent van Gogh. I always felt like his paintings have I always wanted to paint like him, or have a good impression on my soul. And funny wise, I did give exam to the art university, and I did enter, and I did study for a time art. And one of the paintings that I have chosen one day, I want to imitate by painting. I had a book with very famous painters, which one was, of course, the beautiful flower vase and the flower of Vincent van Gogh. And I chose two of them, and I recreate them. I was painting actually at the time, maybe with some cheap temporal color or some good, but I managed quite well to copy his style and to try to paint as him. And to be honest, my bouquet was not bad, and I loved the movement and the color and the way he created movement in the painting, through the brush line. So anytime you look at the painting, the brush line is very important, and then you can see how much love the artist put first of it into the painting. How many brushes? You have to think, every brush actually is a second. So, it does show a certain amount of time. then you look, okay, how wild, how collected or how calculated those brushes are. And, you know, it's like the less or the more calculated my brush is, the effect I give into a painting or the color that I'm using. So the artist is very conscious about the thing he or she is doing. It's not like I'm going crazy on a paper, I just put some color on a spot. Painting is not about that, okay? Painting is like high painting, no? When you develop your own, it's really an experience in itself. But as I've said, it's first of all a mental exercise, and it's very beautiful to really paint from your own joy, no? You have to enjoy painting, otherwise it's not going to work. You're not going to enjoy it, and you're not going to be happy about the result. But you can choose, you know? There's always there's a place to start. And music is a little more easier for me. I believe music is easier to create music than art. To be honest, art and paintings are a higher level of art, or I see it as a higher level of art, more than the music. I don't know why, okay? I always find a painting, and it's a very unique and very special thing to really have a good painting. And some of the paintings of the world are, I just, they leave you with dropped jaw, like you cannot believe someone paints. It's just so incredible. It's just so, you know, you cannot just, you can only look. It's just breathtaking. The same way I feel for sculpture, for like a big work of art, no? And music is easier. Why? Because, well, you know, humans have played music, I believe, before they ever had the idea to paint or draw. Of course, the element of draw and painting in the past had little to do with art in that meaning, because it was used as a way of communicating. So, and of course they knew they were drawing, you know, we have the very old caves where the old drawings, so they of course consciously drew animals or scenes of fights with animals, you know. It's like writing a book, but you don't have paper, so you use a stone or a cave. So the need of, you know, it's almost like when you paint or draw, you're actually scratching the surface of the paper with, that's what you're doing. You're synthesizing, or I say scratching, putting the wax or the crayon or the color, impregnating it on the paper and trying to give it a shape. It is almost like a birth. It's quite funny. So it's like me with my watercolor paper. It's like I first put the water and then the creation comes out. But it does feel a little bit like that. So the artist is sensitive about its works, you know. Be careful when you look at a work of art, because the artist knows what it represents. It knows the value, okay? So yeah, it's quite fun, it's quite beautiful. And my favorite painting from Vincent van Gogh is The Starry Night. I really love that blue and the stars shining with the yellow and the white. His mastery of color and of shape, and the feeling he transported through those beautiful paintings of his, with the simple subjects he chose. It was such a joy and such a gift to us. And I really love his flowers of well, or his landscapes, really very unique. And he's really one of the best, definitely. Vincent van Gogh is definitely a master, and I loved his personality. I read about his life, about his relationship with his brother, the struggles he had, and I think he was a very good man. And he really put everything into art. And thank you so much for listening. I'm going to end here because the time is already long, and I'm going to continue this in further on reading. Have a wonderful Sunday. All the best.